it's Lillian with Living with Charlotte, and I am so excited to introduce our new curriculum review series. So, this first series, I'm sure you've heard of this curriculum. It is Alveary, and I want to approach these curriculum reviews in a little bit of a different way. I really want to go in depth into what is all included when you pay for one of these curriculums, and not so much like talk about my own experience with the curriculum, but just to give you guys like a really deep dive into what you will see. So hopefully these reviews can really empower you guys to make the right decision, to know exactly what you're going to get, and to see if this is going to be a right fit for your family or not. Because maybe a curriculum might have worked for my family, and that might not be as helpful for you if you don't know exactly everything that's included in this curriculum. So that's what I wanted to do for you guys today. All right, so for this video series, curriculum review series, I am starting off with Alveary, which I'm sure many of you guys have heard already. This is going to be a 10-part series because I want to go really in depth on all the subjects so you know exactly what you're going to get. Quick shout out to my sponsor, Humble Heart Press. They are, and you could take a look here, what you would get. Humble Heart Press is the official printing service for Alveary, amongst other brands I think that they print for. And what they do is they take your PDFs and print it into these beautiful bounded books. So here's a better view of the printed product that you get with Humble Heart Press when you print out the Alveary curriculum through them. And nice little flip through. And this is a lot of curriculum. This is just for grade 8, all the subjects here. And you get each of these books. I will show you some more later in my other videos. Before we do a deep dive into the actual subjects, I wanted to give you like a lay of the land of the infrastructure that is included with the Alveary curriculum and the other extras and other resources that you would get along with the subject guides. So as of today, Alveary costs $2.99 for a whole year, and it will give you a year's worth of curriculum, and you'll see in my other videos what that all includes in terms of the subject guides. As a quick background of Alveary, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the team that's behind the curriculum, but it is a curriculum that is created from the Charlotte Mason Institute. Charlotte Mason Institute is a nonprofit organization. It was started by Dr. Carol Smith, and he actually personally knew Susan Schaefer McCulley and her big writing project, which we now all lovingly know as For the Children's Sake. Hey, Dr. Carol Smith really spearheaded the modern day Charlotte Mason movement, and he even co-wrote a book that some of you might be familiar with. It's called A Liberal Education for All, and he gives his insights and commentary through some of the letter correspondence that Charlotte Mason had with various people in her sphere. So the team at Charlotte Mason Institute have a lot of extensive academic background, especially in early childhood development, in educational philosophy and research. And I believe some of them even wrote their dissertations on Charlotte Mason's philosophy of education. So I feel like CMI is kind of this current think tank of all things Charlotte Mason. And so they're the ones who have created this organization, and from that organization there's a team that has created the Alveary curriculum. Charlotte Mason Institute also provides certifications, courses, a lot of free resources too, especially for neurodivergent children, and how to start like a natural history club and other things that really support all types of educators in the Charlotte Mason community. So I'm just going to share my screen so you can actually see what the dashboard and website and all the different links and resources they provide along with each of the subject guides. So when you log into the Alveary website, you're going to see this dashboard that has a lot of stuff on it. So I'm going to just take you through section by section. On the dashboard, and you'll see that each of these sections have these nice little intro videos to get you started in the section. On the dashboard, you'll see this nice planning guide, and that's gonna just take you through step by step what to do when you're on the dashboard, where to look, and give you some helpful tips on how to work through all the resources that they have. One really helpful resource, this is where all their teacher training lives. It's under Alveary Foundations. And I love how they broke this out into relational ideas and relational methods, because I do believe that the Charlotte Mason's philosophy is something separate from her methods. Of course, they're connected, but they are separate. So if you go to relational ideas, you will see all the sections that they have taking you through her philosophy, and just these wonderful videos that they provide to train you. And it's kind of a self-paced training course is what I feel like it is. And then same thing with relational methods. They will have all these different sections on how to utilize her methods for each subject. And same thing here, if you click on a section, there are videos that you can go through, and you will get a lot of training and learning through that. Another resource that they provide, and I believe they also sell this in their shop, which I'll show you a little bit later, but a reflective practice plan book. And what that is a guide that will take us through some reflection questions to really digest what Charlotte Mason's philosophy was and how it applies to our homeschool, and reflecting through how our homeschool is going and what is working well, what we might need to tweak or update based on Charlotte Mason's philosophy. Under courses, you'll see all the course lists broken out by grade level. I'm going to just use grade 8 as our sample, so I'm not clicking through everything here. But if we do grade 8 course list, you will see all the subjects that are included in grade 8. It'll give you just a little description of what those subjects will include, and any combining and placement tips that you might need if you are trying to combine students or trying to figure out what grade you would want to place them in. If you want to see all the courses across all the grades, then there is a master course list, and there's a very long document, 84 pages, but basically it just has all the courses for grades 1 through 12. And another thing that they provide is the scope and sequence. So if you want to see something more from a higher level view of the courses and how they progress across the grades, then this is a document that you would want to look at. It's a 50-page document. So again, I'm not going to take you through everything, but there is a lot there. And last but not least in this section, High School Handbook. I think this is kind of neat that they've provided is all the things that you would need to consider as they approach the last 4 years of their schooling. And it's very practical things too. I really need to take a look at this a lot more closely, but they talk about for college-bound students, like the different exams that they would need to take, and college selection, and if they're doing dual enrollment, and how to do transcripts, etc. So a lot of helpful things there for high school students in particular. Moving on to schedule. So they do have sample schedules that they provide. So let's say grade 8, what the sample schedule would look like here. It takes you through day by day what the flow of lessons will look like. They have these little symbols, and I think what these mean is, how much teacher attention is needed for that particular subject. So if it's full teacher attention, half, or little to no teacher attention, something they could just do independently, whether they suggest it's a morning or afternoon lesson. So again, lot that they give you to guide you for your homeschool. If you don't want to use their sample schedule, they have this tool, the printable scheduling tiles. So if you're more of a tactile, visual learner, you can use this tool, print it out, cut it up, and visually just place the flow of your days for each of your subjects. Moving on to books. So again, the book lists are broken out by grade level. If we click on grade 8, let's say, this is all the books that they need across all the subjects that they'll be covering in their grade level. And it's really helpful to see how some of these books, like it'll tell you what levels or what grade levels also use this book. It'll tell you, like, is it in term 1, term 2, term 3, links to where to buy them, or if there's a free resource. So all of that is included in the book list, and it'll show you even like a picture of the cover just to make sure you're buying the right one. Same thing here. If you want to see like the master book list across all grade levels, that is also available. 192 pages long, but it is all there. And you can see what books are included or being used for the school year. I think there's also, a year at a glance. And what you can see through this is when you click on a grade level. So let's say I click on grade 8. It's going to show you just very high level titles of all the books that they're using for each grade, or sorry, for each subject. And then you can kind of see, in kind of this other view, I guess, of what book is being used when for that grade level. So again, lots of helpful things. They have what's called a bookshelf, and I think this mainly is, and then you could sort this by genre, grade level. I think what they're doing here, and I'm not too sure, please don't take my word for it, but I believe it's their recommendations for any books that you want to add as supplemental or maybe even to switch out. So that is called the Alveary Bookshelf. Very helpful list of books there. I believe you can also see this on YouTube already, but they have book previews. Yeah, these are all public videos, so they also do book previews. I believe they have it out already for the following year, 2026 to 2027, but they give you little sneak peeks at some of the books that they've chosen, why they chose it, by grade level, and book buying tips as well. Okay, so moving on to kind of like the meat of what you're really looking for. So they have all of that in these other sections, but lesson plans. This is where you're going to get the actual daily lesson plans for your grade level and subjects. Really quick before I get into that, they have a before age 6 guide. And this guide, I believe they are selling this in their shop too. But this is things that you can do to carry out a living education for your early age kids. So they tell you these are different ways to incorporate some of these subjects without, it being like a formal lesson. They talk about the discipline of habit and how to build good habits, do chores, etc. So yeah, this whole guide they include, but I believe they sell this separately, and I can show you that a little bit later. So again, lesson plans, if I click into grade 8, this is really just a cover page. So they list out all the subjects here, and then you can click into each of these subjects to get the actual lesson plan. So for example, if I click on, so I'm in grade 8. So let's say I do geography grade 8, then it's going to give me all the lesson plans for that particular subject. And I'm just going to skim over this because I'll be doing a deep dive into each of these subjects. But that's basically what you're going to see for the lesson plans. And same thing if you want a master list of all the lessons across the grades, they do have that available. And again, this is more like a cover sheet, and it just has all the links through the subjects per grade. And these are the subjects that I'll be covering basically in my review videos for later in this series. Supplies. So this kind of works same as the book lists that they have. They will list out all the supplies that you need for each grade level. So if I click on grade 8, this is what they have, where they will list out again all the subjects, basic supplies that you would need, and then per subject, yeah, so like art, you would need these supplies. They provide links on where to get it, a little thumbnail of what each of those supplies would look like. And again, it tells you like, where else they would use these supplies. So this is kind of like art supplies, but if we're doing like Sloyd, it comes out in level 6 and level 7, or handicrafts, it gets used in all of these different subjects too. And then last but not least, exams. This is really helpful. So they do provide a very extensive exam guide per term. So if I went into term 1, grade 8 exams, they give this as a Google Doc template. So it'll take you through some of the principles that you would consider as you do exams. So there's a little bit of training and guidance up there. There's a suggested rubric for how you would score these. And really that's just for you to know as you go through their exams. And then they go through each subject and give, suggested exam questions that you would do for that grade level. And so you would just click on use template, adjust it however you need to. And then some final sections that I wanted to touch on, teacher resources. These are just additional resources that will help you just get more familiar with Charlotte Mason's philosophy and her methods. They just have a bunch of articles, videos, resources that you can take a look here. Under what's new, they have something called the Alveary Weekly, and these are just additional articles, what other things are going on within Alveary, within the Charlotte Mason Institute. And they push these out every week. I believe I get them by email too. Under community, so they do have a community attached to the Alveary curriculum. It's called the Hive, and I believe it's run on Mighty Networks. And you can join that community. It's kind of like this whole social media platform that's not Facebook and not Instagram or anything like that, but it's just dedicated to Alveary members. They have neurodivergent resources for students. They have Natural History Club resources. And like I mentioned before, they have more of these teacher trainings that you can pay for and sign up and even get certified through their teacher trainings. And I think the last thing I want to show you is, yes, their Alveary shop. They got merch. But they also sell some of their curriculum individually. So some of these subjects they do sell individually if you wanted to just, purchase music or geography, things like that. They do sell other teacher training materials, so here's the reflective practice book I talked about and the before age 6 guide. They do sell that separately. And CMI publications. I am actually reading through this book right now, but they have these research articles, like I said, that they're the people who work for CMI, a lot of them have more of an academic research background. So they've really expounded on Charlotte Mason's philosophy by creating these publications. Okay, so that's all the infrastructure that is included when you get an Alveary membership on top of each of the subject-specific guides. Next few videos, I will actually deep dive into each of those subjects. So the next one will be about history and geography, and you can find that here. Hopefully it will appear around here and actually get to know what their history cycles look like and what geography looks like across all the grades. So I hope this video was helpful. There's going to be more coming up. Like I said, this is going to be a 10-part series. There's a lot to cover, but Alveary is a very robust curriculum, and I want to show you the whole gamut of what's included. Once again, shout out to my sponsor, Humble Heart Press, who is the official printer for Alveary, among other curriculums. And you don't have to buy the curriculums that they print for. You can actually upload your own PDF to get a nicely bound book like this. So if you liked this video, again, this is just the first of the whole series, but make sure you hit like, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, because that's what everyone says. and if you think this is helpful for another Charlotte Mason mom that you know, please share this with her. And make sure, if you want to comment below, what would you like me to cover as I go through each of the subjects? That'll be really helpful for me to know what specifically you're looking for. And if maybe there's another curriculum you want me to review, please add that in the comments below. Lastly, if you are really considering any of the big 5 of the Charlotte Mason curriculum, so this would include, of course, Alveary, Ambleside, CMEC, A Gentle Feast, and Simply Charlotte Mason. Those are kind of what I'm considering the big 5. And you just need some help, need some guidance on which one would best fit your family. If you sign up for my email list, I will send you a freebie. It will be a decision matrix. So based on certain criteria, this will help you to decide which all-in-one curriculum out of the big 5 might suit your family. That's it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I get so nervous. So if you like this video, I'm gonna keep laughing. Thumbs it up.